Hi viewers, welcome back. This is lesson 2 of our JSC Mathematics series from NAMCOL. In today's lesson, we will learn how to work out the relevant formulae and then how to calculate the area and perimeter of a parallelogram. After watching this lesson, our learners should be able to derive the formulae for calculating area and perimeter of a parallelogram, and they should then be able to apply the formulae to calculate the area and the perimeter of a parallelogram. Enjoy the program with us. Firstly, I want to tell you what quadrilaterals are. Why? Because a parallelogram, the shape we are discussing today, is a quadrilateral. All the shapes you see on the screen now are quadrilaterals. Quadrilateral just means 4 sides. Quad means 4 and lateral means side. A quadrilateral is any closed shape with 4 sides that meet. It also has 4 corners. They are called vertices. For example, all these geometric shapes are quadrilaterals. The parallelogram, 4 sides that meet and 4 corners. The rectangle, the same, 4 sides that meet and 4 corners. The rhombus, a different shape but still has 4 sides that meet and 4 corners. Same with the square, the trapezium and the kite. They all have 4 sides that meet and 4 corners. Squares, rectangles, rhombuses are all parallelograms. Kites and trapezoids are not because their opposite sides are not all parallel. The quadrilateral we are working with today is a parallelogram. To be able to recognize a parallelogram, look for opposite sides that are parallel and are the same length. Furthermore, the opposite angles are equal. In this picture, we can see these properties quite clearly. Both angles A are the same and both angles B are the same. The opposite sides are parallel and equal in length. Hi again. I think I know what you want to ask me. Where will we find a parallelogram in real life? That's a good question. Parallelograms are figures with 4 sides. So let's see. The shape of my laptop is a parallelogram. And so is the cover of this math textbook. In fact, the front of this paperback too. It has lines running vertically as well as horizontally and a squarish shape. Even the outline of my wallet is a parallelogram. The front of my wallet too. Parallelograms are a very common shape. Any shape with 2 pairs of parallel sides is a parallelogram. Real-life examples are everywhere. See if you can identify the 2 pairs of parallel sides in the surfaces of tables, desks, boxes, building blocks and bricks, paper, a cell phone, blankets. The list is really endless. Window frames, swimming pools, tiles, television sets, DVD players, a ruler, tissue box, picture frame. Everywhere you look, there are parallelograms. Most of these parallelograms were actually rectangles because they have 90-degree angles. But all rectangles are also parallelograms.
Wow, Ben. 80% in your assignment, you say. Well done. I'm so proud of both of you.
Thanks, Mama.
So what's the topic or what's the task of today?
Parallelograms.
Oh, at least I know what those are. But do you guys know that a parallelogram is just 2 triangles put together?
Triangles? But a triangle has 3 sides and a parallelogram has 4.
See the rectangle shape of this box. It consists of 2 triangles, this one and this one.
That's right.
And even if I draw a line from this other corner to the opposite, it still consists of 2 triangles.
That's right. But do all parallelograms consist of 2 triangles?
Yes, they do.
You clever mama. But we have to get back to serious business here. We have to find and work out the perimeter and area of a parallelogram. So, can we use that cereal box over there?
Sure.
Thanks, Mama. We had better get to business, mate.
Yes, let's begin. First, we should find the definition of what area is. Area is the amount of space inside the boundary of a flat object, such as a square or a rectangle.
Okay, let's draw the rectangle first. It says the rectangle should be exactly 8 centimeters long and 4 centimeters wide. I'll start with the drawing. The angles need to be 90 degrees if it's a rectangle.
Yes, and then don't forget to divide up the rectangle into small squares of 1 centimeter each.
Okay, 8 centimeter length from here to there. For the length, I'm marking the 8 centimeter in 1 centimeter lengths.
Looks good so far. Now the breadth, 4 centimeters. Marking the 4 centimeter in 1 centimeters.
Let me just mark the other 2 lines in 1 centimeters. There, I'm done.
Good. Now we must find the area of this rectangle. There are 2 ways. First, we can just count the number of squares inside the rectangle, which will give us 32. This is actually how the definition of the area came about, because the area is the amount of space inside the boundary of a flat object. So we just count the small squares inside.
And the unit for this will be in square centimeters, because there are 32 square centimeters inside this rectangle. This is weirdly easy. Do we just divide the rectangle into 1 centimeter squares and count the squares?
Well, yes, but we can't always just draw squares to find the area of a shape. What if we have to find the area of a soccer field?
Exactly. Imagine going with a ruler to divide the soccer field and start measuring it. People would think we have lost our minds.
Absolutely. No. The great mathematicians thought about this too and developed a formula to find the area of a rectangular object. Rather than adding up all the rows of centimeter blocks, it is the same as taking the length and the width and multiplying the two.
Well, Ben, that makes a lot of sense, of course. Multiplying is a shortcut for repeated addition, as our teacher Mrs. Winter always says.
That means that in this case, instead of adding 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 for each row, we can just multiply the length of 8 centimeters by the width of 4 centimeters. Hey Sally, look! 8 times 4 is 32. It comes to the same answer.
Okay, so the formula for the area of a rectangle is area is equal to length times breadth. But we need to derive a formula for a parallelogram, Ben, not for a rectangle.
That's right. It's not a problem though. To do this, we are going to change the rectangle into a parallelogram. Where are those scissors?
Here they are.
We cut out the rectangle. Now I must cut out 2 triangles. Let me first draw a line through this rectangle. I'm going to cut here from the bottom corner at the 25 diagonally to the top corner at the 8.
Let me read the instructions here. Okay. Now place the two triangles back to back together on the white sheet and glue them. Here's the glue.
Thanks. Oh yes, like your mom said. Two triangles make a parallelogram.
But the problem here is we cut some squares up, so we cannot go by counting the number of squares this time.
Yes, that is why we need a formula. But we know that the area of the rectangle is exactly the same as the area of a parallelogram. We still used both triangles. The only thing that is different is the shape. Yes, I see it. So we can say with safety that the wall area of the parallelogram is also 32 square centimeters.
Oh, but can you see though, Ben? The dimensions of the parallelogram are a bit different from those of the rectangle. The length is still 8 centimeters, but the other two sides have changed to 9 centimeters. If we multiply 8 by 9, we get 72, which is obviously wrong.
Yes, so we should find another way to get 32 as the answer. Look at the height of the parallelogram. It's 4 centimeters, right?
Yes, and 8 times 4 is 32. So the formula changes a bit. The perpendicular height is 4 centimeters. The formula will then be base, which is the same as the length, times the perpendicular height of the parallelogram. That is 4 centimeters.
That's right. We learned that a perpendicular height should be on a base. Therefore, we use the word base instead of length.
Now that we've got the formula, we should do an example of another parallelogram. Here's one. First, we have to measure the base and the perpendicular height of this parallelogram.
I'll do that. The base seems like 6.2 centimeter and the perpendicular height is 3.8 centimeters.
Good. The formula is base times height. So, we just calculate this on a calculator. I get 6.2 times 3.8 is 23.56 as the area of this parallelogram.
Do you think we can say with safety that the area of a rectangle and the area of a parallelogram with the same base and height will be equal?
That seems obvious because the breadth of a rectangle is its height. There is a 90-degree angle.
So, the problem of finding the area is solved. What about the perimeter?
Well, what is perimeter?
It's the length of the outside border or boundary of a parallelogram.
Oh yes, this should be quite easy, don't you think? In the first rectangle we drew, the perimeter is 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4, which gives us an outline of 24 centimeters.
Yes, perimeter is the distance around the figure. If we look at this parallelogram that we glued onto the paper, the base or length is the same, but the other two sides have changed. They're 9 centimeters long.
Okay, that's also easy enough. You're right, because we have to find the distance around the parallelogram. We use 9 as the length of the other sides. So the perimeter is 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9, and we get 34 centimeters.
So, to derive a formula for the perimeter of a rectangle or a parallelogram, we can say 2 times side 1 plus 2 times side 2.
Let's measure the sides of the other parallelogram we did. Ruler, please. Thank you. The length is 6.2 centimeters and I get 4.5 centimeters for each of the shorter sides.
Okay, let's apply the formula for the perimeter of a parallelogram. The perimeter will then be 2 times 6.2 plus 2 times 4.5 and we get 21.4 centimeters.
Great! We are done for now. Tomorrow we can work on more quadrilaterals.
Yesterday I promised you guys an ice cream if you get an A in your assignment, didn't I? Well, here's the money. I hope it inspires you tomorrow for your assignment too.
Wow!
Thank you.
This makes all the effort worthwhile.
Well, viewers, I hope you also enjoyed today's lesson. Let me just give you a short summary of what we discussed. By measuring and cutting up a rectangle to make a parallelogram, we discovered that the rectangle and the parallelogram have the same area when you use the same base and the same height. The height must always be a perpendicular line which makes a 90-degree angle with the base. The formula to find the area is base times height. The answer is given in square centimeters. The perimeter of the rectangle and the perimeter of the parallelogram are not the same because the parallelogram has a diagonal line that has a different length from the breadth of the rectangle. The formula we can use to find the perimeter of a parallelogram is 2 times the length of side 1 plus 2 times the length of side 2. The unit of perimeter is centimeters because it is a distance. Now, it is time for our SMS competition again. The key word for today's program is parallelogram. Please make sure you spell it correctly. SMS your answer to the number 5003. Write the keyword parallelogram with only the correct letter A, B, or C of the answer you choose. The question is, what is the formula to calculate the area of a parallelogram? Is it A, base times height, B, length times breadth, or C, 2 times side 1 plus 2 times side 2? Next time, we will look at the area and perimeter of a kite. We look forward to sharing more maths with you next time. Until then, goodbye.